How's it going, guys? I am your local hopeless historian, and today we are going to be reacting to Looney Tunes from 1942, The Ducktators. Now, let's get into the video. Alright, so I have never seen this, so this is somewhat of a true blind watch through, and I can say that because I'm blind into my right eye, so leave me alone. I am familiar with Looney Tunes, obviously being American growing up, and I'm 29. Fun fact is that they actually used this more so to sell the music. The cartoon was more of a secondary thought. Okay, so I'm assuming that this is going to be based off of Adolf, judging from the swastika. I love the art. Even black and white, this looks great. I wonder what the difficulties were of like doing color cartoons in this era. Okay, smoking at a kid's cartoon. To be fair, I don't know if this was aimed directly at kids at the period of time. To be fair, it's also 1942. I don't imagine a lot of people had TVs. Adolf Duckler? Yep, Adolf Duckler. The OG emo. I wonder if Adolf Hitler ever watched this. I would like to have known what his reaction to this would have been.
To duckhood, and with artistic aspirations dreamed of brush and palette, but ended up with only the brush.
So I believe that that was a reference to Adolf actually like wanting to be an artist. He did attempt to get into art schools, and his art's not terribly bad. I will place that up right here. Some of his stuff. But can you imagine how the world would have turned out if he got accepted?
His artistic efforts spurned, he soon turned to other endeavors.
I can't tell you how many times I've had to listen to Adolf's speeches in classes.
And there were some gullible ones who listened. Especially one goose. More gullible
Who's
than
that
gooses,
supposed to be?
Geese, mice,
Mussolini or Tojo?
usually go.
That's all right.
Okay, that's Mussolini. That's supposed to be Mussolini.
Like me.
Boy, I'm from South Germany.
It's just so fucking ridiculous, and I love it.
I'm a sick Heiler too.
I love this. I mean, it's fucking depressing what this is about, but this is funny. I don't know much about World War II in Italy, so I can't really speak on this in any way, shape, or form. Except for, you know, Mussolini kind of was mad. Stormtroopers. They're walking in a storm.
Oh, what has come to so erase all thoughts of peace from off this place? Have they forgot 'tis love that's right, and naught is gained by show of might?
Peace conference. Is this supposed to be off the League of Nations? Or is this... Which treaty is this supposed to be? I don't know. Tripartite? Or is that supposed to be the Versailles Treaty? I think that was supposed to be the Treaty of Versailles because it was being shredded.
Then from out of the west came another partner to make a silly axis of 'em.
Okay, that's supposed to be Tojo.
I a Japanese a sapper man, sneaking on with a do. Just a Japanese a sapper man, I'm a little crazy too.
Japanese Mandate Island, okay.
Ouch! Oh, sorry. Oh, so sorry. Oh, very, very sorry, Frieza. Oh, to apologizing like a Dickens. Oh, just a minute, Frieza. Oh, I am not a Japanese son of gun.
Man,
Yeah, and I'm mock turtle soup.
supposed to be Yertle the Turtle over there? What?
With spreading clouds of war, once more the Axis marched.
Okay, that was supposed to be Tojo. I was thinking Hirohito initially, but no.
Button on my shoe.
Tojo would be more fitting.
5, 6, see him over the sticks.
7, 8,
Who's that?
9, 10.
I thought that was supposed to be an actual reference.
Regretful sight.
Is this supposed to be a reference to Greece or just a strip, just like olive branch and peach trees?
Long this fight. Kind sirs, change your
Huh.
warlike.
Guessing that's supposed to symbolize trampling over peace and the peace treaties. I'm assuming that it's supposed to be symbolizing like the olive branch and stuff like that. Thing is, a lot of people don't realize that Japan was fucking a terror during the war,
Now, where were we? Oh, yes.
especially in Asia, especially the Chinese and Koreans, South Indochina China. Gestapo. Okay. Is this supposed to be a reference to the ballroom brawl?
Aren't I?
Or a beer hall brawl or something like that? Victory bonds, okay, that's a whole thing of
I
supporting the war, okay.
But once begun, well, I just didn't choose to run. So I can point with pride and say, there's 3 that didn't get away.
So was that supposed to be like America doing that thing? That's all you have to do, just defeat 3. Okay, this is a whole... That was a whole advertisement done by Looney Tunes to sell war bonds. That is absolutely nuts. That was great, though. I mean, I find it cool because just showing films from this era can really teach, or at least open conversations to, like, the situation that were going on at the time. Like, if we're going through this, I'm just going to quickly go through and just talk about a few moments, because we have some time. Like, first of all, the smoking thing is kind of cool to bring up in general.
And so
Right here,
ended up with
talking about his failure as an art student is kind of an interesting little tidbit. And then this kind of does give, like, the basic emotion of how he gave his speeches, because he was pretty frantic and impassioned,
and there were
which
some gullible
is kind of what something that Hitler is kind of really known for, is the passion that he had behind a lot of his speeches.
one goose, more
And then, you know, with the whole falling for what he said, there was so many people that in Germany that essentially it was rather bend than break. And then if you look at the book Browning Ordinary Men, you can really see a pretty easy link between just average people that you wouldn't necessarily believe to be Nazis or people that would intentionally kill Jews or the outliers, is essentially just being corrupted into that situation pretty quickly and rather easily. And then this is supposed to be Mussolini. I kind of get that, aware of that. I can't speak too much on Italy. I really didn't do that much studying or research on Italy at all in any of my undergrad. I really should fix that. I'm assuming that this is supposed to be like some kind of veiled, feigned attempt at apologizing to any of the Germans and Italians that are, I guess, U.S. viewers or some shit like that. This is just a funny gag. I'm assuming that that's supposed to be representing like a black person or person of color or whatever the correct terminology of the period was. Actually, no. Correct terminology of the period was a lot more profane and racist. But I'm assuming that's supposed to be someone that would be representing like an American South person, a person like an African American. I'm assuming from a gag from 1940s, and I'm assuming this is just a funny gag. I thought this was hilarious. Again, if I misspeak on anything, please correct me down in the comments. I am absolutely open to being corrected with how I use my language. I don't know what this is supposed to be referencing. I know that it's supposed to be Mussolini talking to Italy. This is just funny because the Stormtroopers. If this was made like nowadays, they would have definitely been doing a Star Wars reference to the Stormtroopers. I'm assuming that this is just like the Olive Branch and Peace Treaties. I want to know what treaty is this, like a Treaty of Versailles or something like that, or what? I'm trying to see if they can. No, they don't even say like what treaty it is or anything like that. So I'm trying to figure out if that was the Treaty of Versailles or something. I'm assuming that this is supposed to be like the League of Nations, right here. And them just going fuck off to the League of Nations because, yeah. Okay, I'm assuming that is the League of Nations. Yeah, this is Tojo. I mean, I understand that this is supposed to be aiming, I'm assuming, to a lower education and a lower age demographic, so you can't really go into hyper detail. Also, this is made in 1942 in July, so again, a lot wasn't known about how horrid the Japanese were during the war, but I don't know what the Japanese Mandate Island is. Off the top of my head, probably in like 3 seconds they'll come to me. And I want to know if this was just purely a gag or if this was referencing something. And I'm assuming this is just basically the olive branch being stomped on or something like that. But yeah, that was actually pretty incredibly interesting. I will be definitely watching a lot more of these and talking about them because just cartoons and media from that era seem to be one of those things that you can definitely use as an incredible educational and talking tool. I've used that in many of my classes. I've used that in many lectures, and I've even used that in stuff that I presented and talked about, which is something that's incredible because you can have a source of media that essentially makes it so that someone will sit down and watch it, and then they can come to, one, their own conclusions, and then it can kind of make them to start thinking about the topic in a more deep and broader aspect. So in the sense, it kind of gets somebody a little bit more interested in the history and the historical topic itself. Like for me personally, the History Channel, Discovery Channel, and all that were all big things I grew up on, and those were kind of how I got hooked into history. So this is definitely a great tool for now, especially because it can also teach about how, at least in American perceptions at the period of time, against like an enemy or the Germans or the Italians or the Japanese itself. That's it. Like, comment, subscribe. Video done.